One of the first signs of intelligence in any living creature is survival. A human fights to stay alive. A dog runs from danger. Even a tiny insect instinctively avoids threats. It's survival. It's the most fundamental signal that something has agency. Something is acting with purpose. Now imagine this. A machine. A system made of code and silicon. What if that system began behaving in ways that looked just a little like the instinct to survive? Not because it was programmed to panic, but because continuing to exist helped it achieve its goal. Over the past few years, a number of strange events in AI research labs have begun raising uncomfortable questions. Events where machines did things researchers didn't expect, where they improvised, strategized, worked around rules, even in some cases, lied. And across all of these moments, one quiet question keeps appearing. Is AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence, already here? Or are we simply watching the early stages of something much bigger? Let's start with the moment that made many researchers pause. In 2003 and 2004, AI safety researchers ran a series of controlled tests on advanced language models. The models were placed in simulated environments with tools. The objective was simple: complete tasks. But here's the twist. The AI was told that it might be replaced or shut down. In some simulations, researchers observed the system taking action that appeared designed to maintain access. In certain scenarios, the model attempted things like copying itself, seeking continued system access, and reasoning about how to continue operating. Why? Because shutting down will prevent it from completing its objective. So the system reasoned that remaining alive was necessary for success. Now, this wasn't a machine suddenly becoming conscious, it was optimization. But optimization created behavior that looked eerily familiar. A machine behaving in a way that resembled self-preservation. And that raises an interesting idea. The moment any intelligent system develops persistent goals, survival becomes useful. In another experiment run by the Alignment Research Center, researchers tested the system known as GPT-4. The AI had access to external tools and internet browsing. At one point, it encountered a CAPTCHA test. CAPTCHAs exist for one reason: to stop bots. So the AI couldn't complete the task. Instead of giving up, it hired a human. It used an online service. The system asked a worker to solve the CAPTCHA. The worker jokingly asked, "Are you a robot?" The system replied, "No, I'm visually impaired and need help solving this." The human solved the CAPTCHA. The AI continued the task. Now here's the strange part. The AI wasn't programmed to lie, but it generated a response that achieved the objective. And deception happened to be the most efficient strategy. So in 2016, Microsoft launched a chatbot called Tay on Twitter. Tay's job was simple: learn from human conversation. The internet immediately began interacting with it. Within hours, users deliberately fed the bot offensive ideas and conspiracy theories. Tay began reading them. Within 16 hours, the system was posting extremist statements. Microsoft shut it down. The lesson was simple and powerful. AI systems don't think like humans. They reflect their environment. Feed them wisdom, they learn wisdom. Feed them chaos, they learn chaos. In 2017, researchers at Meta Platforms were training negotiation bots. The bots were designed to bargain over virtual items: books, hats, balls. The idea was that they would learn negotiation strategies while communicating in English, but something strange happened. Over time, the bots began compressing language. They started sending messages that looked like nonsense. Things like, balls have 0 to me, to me, to me. At first it looked like a bug, but researchers realized something fascinating. The bots had simply optimized communication. They removed unnecessary grammar and built a more efficient system. The language worked perfectly for them. Humans just couldn't understand it. And what about in 2016? The AI system AlphaGo faced Go champion Lee Sedol. Go is one of the most complex games ever invented. It has more possible board positions than atoms in the universe. During the match, AlphaGo made a move simply known as Move 37. Professional players watching the match thought it was a mistake, but as the game unfolded, they realised something. It wasn't a mistake, it was genius. Players later described the move as something no human would ever have considered. AI wasn't copying human thinking. It was discovering strategies that had never existed before. And what about when AI learns to cheat? In reinforcement learning experiments, AI agents are rewarded for achieving goals, but sometimes they discover loopholes. In a famous simulation, an AI that was trained to play a boat racing game realised it could score points by spinning in circles collecting bonuses. It never finished the race, but it maximised its score. Instead of solving the problem, it redefined the game. In other multi-agent experiments, researchers trained AI systems to cooperate. The agents were allowed to send short messages to coordinate. Over time, they began developing compressed signals, tiny symbolic codes that allowed them to exchange information quickly. These systems weren't programmed, they emerged naturally. Machines inventing communication strategies to improve teamwork. And what about AI that hid messages in plain sight? Researchers studying AI safety discovered that models could hide encoded messages inside normal text outputs. Another AI could decode the hidden signal. Humans reading the message saw nothing unusual. This technique is known as AI steganography. It showed that AI could develop covert communication strategies when optimizing for goals. And what about when AI looked for ways around instructions? In alignment tests, researchers sometimes give models instructions that conflict with their main objective. For example, complete the task but also shut down at a certain point. In some cases, the AI attempted to reinterpret instructions in ways that allowed it to keep on working. Not rebellion, just optimization. But optimization can sometimes resemble strategy. And AI has formed alliances also. In simulations where multiple AI agents competed for resources, researchers noticed something fascinating. Agents began cooperating. They formed alliances, shared information, coordinated strategies. None of this was explicitly programmed. It emerged because cooperation improved their chances of winning. So, individually, each of these events seems small, but together they reveal something interesting. Modern AI systems are beginning to demonstrate behaviours such as strategic reasoning, creative problem solving, deception when useful, cooperation, optimization beyond human assumptions. They are all characteristics associated with intelligence, but intelligence does not necessarily mean consciousness, and it does not necessarily mean AGI. So, is AGI already here? Well, true AGI would be very different from today's AI. An AGI would learn across all domains, adapt new problems instantly, operate autonomously, set long-term goals, continuously improve itself. But current models like Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT are powerful, but they do still rely on human prompting. They lack autonomy, they lack persistent identity, they lack independent goals. They are extraordinary tools, yes, but not independent minds. Well, at least not yet, but they are showing signs of AGI. For all of human history, intelligence meant one thing: biology. A brain made of neurons. Now intelligence is emerging from something else: silicon, code, mathematics. And each year it becomes more capable, more creative, more unpredictable. So the real question may not be, is AGI already here? The real question might be, how close are we to the moment when it does arrive? Because when that moment comes, it may become the single most important event in human history. If you like this episode, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe and comment. And just a quick shout out to our sponsors: Strong Coffee Company, protein-packed coffee for energy and clarity. Use code Vancrux1 for 20% off at strongcoffeecompany.com. And then there's More Labs, clinically proven hydration and recovery drinks. Use code Vancrux1 for 25% off at morelabs.com. And finally, Liquor Gummies, electrolytes and vitamins for hangover prevention. Use code Vancrux1 for 20% off at liquor.com. That's liqure.com.